Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to introduce propositional logic. So you should know what is a logic is. The logic is all about arguments. The formal method of reasoning. So you can say you will have a decision making statement. Okay. So you will have an answer for that. It will be either true or false. Okay. So it will be like a declaration statement. So you can say a proposition is a statement which will ask for a declaration or a judgment where you can provide with an yes or no answer. So normally logical statements comes under Boolean. Okay. So where you have only two values, true or false. So we are going to discuss about propositional logic and what are the terms and symbols used in this. So a propositional logic represents logic through propositions and logical connective. So proposition is nothing but a statement and logical connective is nothing but the symbols used. So consider the example, it is raining. You can say an example here, it is raining. It is a proposition. Why you say it is a proposition is you will have a result. It is a judgmental statement. You will have a result, yes or no, that is true or false. Second example, you can see India is a continent. Again, it is a proposition. So it is a declaration statement. Okay, you are declaring that India is a continent. It should be either true or false. So there won't be any other answer for that. Now the last one, how are you? Now it is not a proposition. Reason for it is you don't have a conclusion. That is, you don't have an answer like true or false. You will have some other values. That is, some other answer will be given. So since it does not have a conclusion, it is not a judgmental statement, it is not a proposition. Now we are going to see different terms and symbols used in propositional logic. So first one you are going to see simple proposition. So simple proposition is also called a simple statements. Is one that does not contain any other proposition as a part. That means you will have a single statement. You don't have more than one statement. You call it as a simple proposition. A compound proposition is one with two or more simple proposition or otherwise called as components. That means you will have more than one simple proposition. You will call it as a compound proposition. So you can see an example here. It is raining and wind is blowing. So you can see it is raining is a proposition. Wind is blowing is a proposition. You will have a connective here. Okay. So and is a connective. So when you read it, you call it as a compound proposition. Now you are going to see what is an operator. So operator is nothing but the connective. So just now we have seen an and, okay, that is a connective. Here you are going to see some symbols used to connect. So an operator joins simple proposition into compounds and joins compounds into larger compounds. That means a simple statement can be connected. Two simple statements, that is proposition, can be connected with an operator, and also two proposition, compound proposition can be connected to a larger compounds. That's what that means. The symbols used, you can see some of the symbols here: plus, dot, then right arrow and double-headed arrow. Okay, are called as sentential connectives because they join sentences. Okay, note the symbol. You call it as an tilde symbol is not a connective. It affects a single statement only. That means this tilde symbol is used as a not operator. So since it is not operator, you cannot have two connect. That is two statements. You cannot connect two statements. It will have only one statement. Okay, that's the reason it is not a connective. Okay, it does not join statements into compounds. It don't make two sentences. Next is you are going to see is propositional logic connectives. Under that, first one is disjunctive operator. So disjunctive connective, that is, or otherwise called as or operator, represented by symbols plus, or you can see a symbol like V. Okay, it's not actually, it look like a V. Okay, or you can say union, right? So disjunction means one of the two arguments is true or both. That means you can see P plus Q. Okay, can be written like this, disjunctive operator. And then you got, otherwise you can write P, V, Q. Okay, it's like a V sign, means P or Q. Okay, in any one of the condition is true or both the condition is true, then the result will be true. You can see the truth table here. First condition is false, second condition is false. That means it is represented with 0. Okay, if anything is false, it is represented with 0. So 0 and 0, the condition, that is the result, will be false. Otherwise 0 1 or 1 0, any one of the condition is true, then the result will be true, and both the condition is true, obviously the result will be true. So the disjunctive operator will have you will have two arguments, more than two, that is one or two arguments true, then the result will be true. Next is conjunctive operator. It is also called as AND operator. So you would have seen AND operator. The symbols used is a dot sign. Okay. Then you have an single ampersand and then inverted V. Right. These are some symbols used. So conjunction means both arguments is true or both. That is, if both the arguments are true, then only the condition, that is the result, will be true. So you can see the example P dot Q. Okay. This is one way of writing, or you can write it as P inverse VQ, okay, or you can see caret, look like a caret symbol. Then you got P and Q, ampersand sign Q. So all these are representing nothing but A and Q. Okay, sorry, P and Q. So you can see a table here. If both the conditions are false, then the result is false. If any one of the condition is true also, you can see 0 1 1 0. Only one condition is true here. The remaining other condition is false. Again, you can see the result is false. Only when both the condition, that is both the proposition is true, then it is true. Okay. Next is conditional. Okay. You also call it as if then, or you call it as implication. Okay. They will say this implies that. So represented with by symbols like single arrow, right? You can say right arrow. Okay, one direction arrow. Okay, and also you can see an U, that is in it's not inverted arrow, sideways view, U sign. So it look like this. These are all symbols used for implication. So that means it will always face right. Okay, so any symbol facing right, you call it as if then or implication or conditional. So implication means if one argument is true, then the other argument is true. So when you read it, you won't understand. So we'll go to the truth table and you will see. Example, you can see P implies Q. Always when you read it, you have to read it as P implies Q. Okay, you can see some other method of writing it. Okay, this means if P, then Q. Okay, now you can see the truth table. Before that, you can see the left column. First column we call it as antecedent, and then the second column, that is Q, we call it as consequent. Okay. So these are all some terms you should remember, right? You should learn these terms in propositional logic, because in questions they may ask you these types of terms will be used. So you should understand what it is before you can attend the question. Okay. Now you can see 0 and 0. First condition is 0, second condition is also 0. Then you can see the implication, that is the conditional operator will be 1. 0 and 1, it is 1. 1 and 0 is 0, but the last one, 1 and 1 is 1. So you can see only 1 0 here. If one argument, that is antecedent is 1 and consequent is 0, then the result will be 0. Okay. Otherwise, the remaining will be 2. So you remember that. So first column, P value is 1 and Q value is 0. So only that condition, then the result will be 0. Otherwise, all the other condition will be true. Okay. Next is biconditional, or you can say if and only if, or you can call it as equivalence. So represented by say equivalence in Max, you would have used this triple line, or you can see double-headed arrow. These are all some symbols used in use equivalence. This means either both arguments are true or both are false. So we'll come to that. So you can see some example P equivalence Q. Okay, double-headed arrow, or you can see P triple dash Q. This is also represents that if and only if P is true, then Q is true. So you can see some examples are given in truth table. So you can say as per the example, that is a term. Equivalence means either both arguments are true or both are false. So both are false, then you can see the equivalence will be 1, right? If both are 1, both are true, then also it is 1. So otherwise, if 1 is 0 and 1 is 1, and then the first one is 1 and second one is 0, then in this condition any one is true, then you will have 0. If both are true or both are false, then it is true. That only you have to remember when you see about when you know about this biconditional. Next is negation. Okay, it is also called as not operator. Not a connective actually, because you cannot use not operator for a single statement. That is, you cannot use for connecting two statements. It will be used for a single statement. Not operator always in programming language also you can see that it comes under unary operator, right? So it's just an operator represented by symbols. You can see tilde sign, then you can see an apostrophe sign, and then a bar, or it look like an L, okay, reverse L. Okay, these are all some of the symbols used. It affects a single statement only. It does not join two or more statements. So this is what you have to remember. Some examples you can see. Okay, tilde P and then P apostrophe, then P var, or means not P. Okay, this means P is false. So you can see the truth table is very simple. You can see if the P value is 0, then the tilde P, that is not P, is 1. And then if the P is 1, then not P is 0. Okay, this is what you have to remember. Now you are going to summarize the connectives. So simple statements you can see, you can see only one statement. So you can use a negation sign, negation of a connector. So you can see tilde P, that is not P. P is false, it is a negation. So you can see the first one is assertion, because you can see it is a positive, that is P is true. Okay, you don't have a tilde sign here. You don't know not operator, so it is an assertion. Second one, you have a not operator, so you can call it as a negation statement. Now you can see compound and connective. So if you want to combine two propositions, what has to be done? You can see first one, plus one is called as disjunction. Okay, dot you call it as conjunction, and then you can see right arrow you call it as simplification, and implication, and then the final one, double-headed arrow, you call it as equivalence. Now we can see that P plus Q can be written as either P is true or Q is true, or both. So you can see use this OR operator. Okay, so whenever you use the statement in between, you should use a connector. Okay, this term is used, OR. Next one, P dot Q. Okay, you call it as both P and Q are true. So you can see that AND is used. Okay, so whenever you use compound statement, so if you use conjunction, then you have to use AND operator. That is a connective. The next is you have to use if then. Okay, that is very simple. So implication, use if then. If P is true, then Q is true. So if then should be used when you use implication. And then finally equivalence. P and Q are either both true or both false. So this is called as equivalence. So this is what you have just seen till now. Okay, so you call it as well-formed formula. What is this well-formed formula? Proposition are also called as sentences or statement. Another term formulae or well-formed formulae also refer the same. Okay, so if you say a proposition or statements or sentences, then you can see that if it is a well-formed formula, that means if you use an operator in between two operands, then it is a well-formed formula. If you have say for example P plus Q, it is a well-formed formula. If you see plus PQ, okay, operator is written in front, so it is not a well-formed formula. That's what that is what it means, right? Okay, that is, we may also call well-formed formula WFF to refer the proposition. So when you read that proposition, you can if it is grammatically correct, then you call it as a well-formed formula. Okay, so that's all about this video. So hope you understood. We will be continuing the propositional logic in the next video. Okay, till then, thank you.